Future Talk.
This is Future Talk
with Omnia Saleh and Hani Balkis.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Future Talk right here on Pulse 95. It is me, Hani Balkis with Omnia Saleh, bringing you everything you need to know about what's happening in the tech world, in the UAE, and all around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, today is Monday. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, because the weather is beautiful. We're talking about all cold breezes and sunny skies.
Yes, indeed. And right here on the show, we've got lots and lots of tech news happening in the UAE and all around the world. And I'm very excited about today's show because this weekend just felt like a packed one. Every time I was scrolling all over social media, I would see tech news, especially because this month is actually the UAE Innovation Month. Coming up on today's show, we're talking about Apple finally deciding to be more budget conscious because news have it they're going to be launching a low-cost iPhone and iPad next month.
Yes, and we're talking about social media, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about Meta and how they are threatening to pull Facebook and Instagram from Europe. This is huge news happening in the tech world, and the reason for that, well, I'm going to be telling you guys in just a bit.
Yes, indeed. In the world of apps, we're talking all about Twitter and how they may just open the door for people who have lots to say. Soon enough, Twitter may be launching a long format so that users can go ahead and tweet articles instead of just having that 140 character limit.
Yes, and ladies and gentlemen, we're talking all about brain hacking today and how an Oxford University professor has invented brain hacking hat that does elevate anxiety pretty quick. A hat that you put on your head that could kill all the anxiety in your body.
Yes, indeed. And whenever we want to give out birthday gifts, it's always difficult when you want to give out something creative, something thoughtful. But now, NASA may have just made your job a lot easier because they're launching a brand new tool that can show you how space looked like on your birthday. What a great gift it is to go ahead and gift someone a picture of the sky and what it looked like when they were born. Lots and lots is in store right here on today's show, so make sure you keep Pulse 95 locked, and we'll be right back.
Daily digital news. Bits and bytes connect our world.
Ladies and gentlemen, bits and bytes do connect our world, and one of the main platforms that, created what social media is today is, I'm going to give you a blast from the past, MySpace. And then after we saw the rise and fall of MySpace, someone took over, and that someone is Facebook, or as we know of them now, Meta. Now, Meta is threatening to pull Facebook and Instagram from Europe, and that is if they cannot target advertisements. Now, this seems like a very rash decision, but, I believe they are bluffing.
Yes, indeed. Now, we do know that targeted advertising is a very big marketplace for Facebook and many other social media platforms. It's basically the way that they make the most money out of these platforms, since we as users go ahead and use these platforms, share, like, follow certain pages that are of interest to us, and other businesses are basically making the most out of all this data that Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, and the like go ahead and share. But the most recent news about basically potentially having Facebook and other social media apps pulled out of Europe is because the judgment actually states that the European Union data lacked effective means to basically readdress the news about targeted advertising and how these measures are given and what data is given to different businesses. Now, the action itself actually goes back all the way to 2011 when an Austrian lawyer, activist, and other researchers went ahead and looked through almost 2,000 pages of information that Facebook held about the topic. They discovered that a lot of details have been changed, a lot of information that was previously not given consent by the users were given to businesses, third-party businesses, and that caused a huge lawsuit against the company.
Yes, now Meta does state in an SEC filing that it is considering on leaving Europe if it can no longer exchange data from European users with the United States. Now, Meta is really, really nervous. Facebook is really, really nervous if they cannot exchange information, and they're pretty scared that U.S. lawmakers and policymakers will, apply the same aspect that the European Union has been doing. And we do know that the European Union has nothing, personal with Facebook per se, but they're always very harsh on, social media platforms. Now, let's talk about how we have around 100 million users in Europe who do use Facebook or Instagram. Now, Facebook is kind of in, a tussle right now. It's either they sacrifice 100 million users to make a stance, and sacrificing those 100 million users means 100 million, potential advertisements. And they might remove targeting ads and only have national ads. So we're talking about local ads only. But, this news does come after, Meta did lose around $230 billion in stocks a couple of days ago, and that did give Mark Zuckerberg a $31 billion loss in his net worth. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I always say this, and I'm going to continue saying this: no king rules forever. We've seen this implemented with MySpace as well. Tom, he pulled the rug on himself before someone could pull the rug on him. He sold MySpace and lived his beautiful life with X amount of billions of dollars in the bank. Now, Facebook's loss was a historic drop. It's the first time in history a U.S. company loses that much money. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at a big problem. And that big problem is that a lot of experts are saying that Facebook will no longer be what it is today, and no, Facebook will not continue its upward spiral. And there's a lot of statistics, and the multivariate analysis does show that a lot of users are leaving Facebook, and the demographic of Facebook has been changing drastically. And it's not that they're moving to Instagram. No, they're moving to TikTok. Believe it or not, TikTok has become the new app for this generation. When I was a child, when I was a teenager, and I do believe Omnia can relate to this as well, the first ever platform we used was Facebook.
Yeah.
And now, if I go to my 8-year-old, I was going to say son, 8-year-old cousin, I'm going to say what social media app you have. He's not going to say Instagram. He's not going to say Facebook. He's not going to say Twitter. He's going to say TikTok. And that is what, a lot of people should be aiming for, the younger generation. And again, they are thinking that TikTok will now dominate because Facebook does something. And Facebook has been, when I say Facebook, I say, formerly Facebook, now Meta as a whole. Meta as a whole does not come with new ideas. They vulture ideas. They did it with Snapchat. They stole the Stories idea. With TikTok, they stole the Reels idea. With a lot of social media platforms.
Even YouTube.
Even YouTube, yes, the IGTV, great. I actually forgot that. The IGTV as well. So we are looking at Meta, how they are vultures. But now they are understanding that they cannot compete with every single thing. They want it to be that one-stop shop where all of these platforms, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or whatever, was in Instagram or Facebook. And now they're realizing they cannot do it. And why is that? Because of their advertisements. A lot of people have been complaining. Now, right here in the UAE, right, or we can even say the greater Gulf region, we do not get a lot of advertisements in comparison to who? To the United States and Europe. And that is their biggest demographic, and that is where they're making the most money, right? In the UAE, we get only targeted, localized ads. We've never got an ad. We probably got that high smile ad, which everyone has gotten. But again, we are looking at how Facebook might be dethroned by TikTok. But a lot of people are saying that if TikTok does go with the same antics that Facebook does, we might be looking for a new social media platform. And sometimes you and I, we talk about how, is there anything new going to come up? Are we going to see a new social media platform? And we thought that no, there are too established. Facebook is too established. Facebook has, or Meta has Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and a couple of other projects. And to add on top of that, we are looking at how Meta, the metaverse, turns out to be, a lot of experts are saying this, that it's very outdated. Their metaverse is very outdated, and it's more of a VR, 3D, or 2D virtual reality.
Let us know your thoughts. 4215. We're going to be taking a short break, but when we come back, we're talking all about Twitter and how they may soon launch a new feature that will help people express themselves a little bit more.
Pulse 95.
Apps all around.
What's worth a click and download?
Pulse 95.
I truly am worried about the launch of this feature or even the potential thought of making it become a reality, especially whenever we're talking about Twitter, because we do know that it can be one of the most toxic social media platforms. People have lots to say, lots of opinions to give, and Twitter wants to open the door for even more controversy because they may just be launching a long-form format, which they're calling Twitter articles, so that you can go ahead and write and post articles on the platform.
Yes, and ladies and gentlemen, we do know that Twitter could be one of the most toxic platforms that we have. But a lot of people in, the Arab world, we like to call them Falsafiyin or philosophers per se. And, Twitter could be working on that new feature called articles. And that format could allow users to create articles and long-form posts within the app. And that would be unburdened by Twitter's currently 280 character limit. Now, before that, I do believe it was 180 characters. And, they are, looking towards giving you more freedom, to type per se. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, I am looking at this feature being, somewhat good because, let's say you follow a journalist, you are following a developing story, you are following someone who you do look at for, a source of information. And, let's say I'm a journalist, for example, and I'm typing a story. I'm going to have to keep adding new tweet. And Twitter kind of, they did put that into consideration and added, threads within a tweet. So let's say I pass 180 characters. I'll add a thread to that. I'll do another one. I'll add a thread to that. I'll do another one. But it'd be very clampy and a little bit, clustered. But with this article type of form, we're looking at everything being put into one format.
Yes, indeed. Now, there's a lot of controversy whenever people talk about which is more beneficial, having a tweet be too long or too short. What is the perfect number of characters? And a lot of researchers and social media enthusiasts always say that the main moving factor behind how long a tweet should be is the intent and the audience. So who are you writing to, and what is your main intention behind what it is that you're writing? In this specific feature that Twitter is planning to launch, I think they're mainly targeting, as you've mentioned, journalists, activists, as well as businesses. So if there's a specific business that wants to maybe share more about their vision, what they're aiming to do, then this Twitter article may just be the perfect platform for them to be able to engage their customers, engage their audience, as well as share what it is that they are working on. Let us know if Twitter were to go ahead and finally, launch this feature. They tend to work on a lot of things, but they don't launch all of them at the end of the day. Would you go ahead and write a Twitter article? Would you be interested in this new form of self-expression? Let us know. 4215 do it's a lot coming up on today's show. We still have lots to share with you as we talk about the story I am most excited for today. Right here in the UAE investors have been collaborating with an Oxford University professor that basically has been saying he could just be able to give all of us a sustainable hacking happiness. Let us know if you're excited for it just as much as I am. We're going to be coming back to you very shortly.
Check this out. Check this out. Oh, 95.
What if you could just wake up one day, if you're feeling anxious or if you struggle with depression, just go ahead, go to your closet, get your happy hat and put it on. I mean, it sounds too good to be true, but this is becoming a reality in the world of tech. We're talking all about a brain hacking hat that was actually invented by an Oxford University professor. Best part about it is soon enough, in about a year, if not less than that, it may just be a reality for use right here in the UAE. We're talking about the Kinetic Intelligent Wireless Implant that was designed to help address mental health issues such as anxiety and depression. And news have it, it may just be cutting down on therapy sessions dramatically.
Yes, and an University of Oxford professor who has invented the Happy Hat, that was to help with investors right here in the UAE. Now, Professor Newton Howard does say that he has invented a machine hat that hacks the brain and even allows the wearers to experience a sustainable state of happiness. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I look at this as a very positive thing, and I'll tell you why. Now, a lot of people in this world, they suffer from depression, mood drops, anxiety, the list goes on. And, in today's medicine, the way to, combat that is through drugs, which can, affect you very highly, and you can be addicted, and then you have to get off those drugs, and then you have withdrawals, and then you have to go to therapy sessions. But this professor is looking at the kinetic energy hat, changing the way we treat ourselves per se, and having a hat on that will affect your mood and even give you a sustainable life state that not only affects your mood, but your overall health and quality of life is life-changing.
Absolutely. Now, when we're talking about feeling happy, we all go through periods of time where we're sad, maybe we go through like a depressive episode, but not depression as the word holds or with the meaning that the word holds. So for those who struggle with depression and anxiety, feeling joy in the little things in life is kind of a feeling that they've totally forgotten. And this is exactly what Professor Newton Howard wants to change. He has created a technology that will basically be revolutionary whenever we're talking about treating mental illnesses. So this implant is known as I've mentioned, the Kinetic Intelligent Wireless Implant, or KIWI for short. And what he's planning to do is basically cut down on the number of sessions that a mental health patient would need. So instead of, needing, let's say, 30 sessions, each lasting 20 minutes, with this happy hacking hat, you can basically have 14 sessions, each lasting 20 minutes, and this invention will eliminate the use of medication for treating depression and anxiety, which, just like Hani mentioned, they can definitely have lots of side effects. Some people who've gone on these medications say that they cause sleepiness, they've caused them to disconnect with family members, feeling like they're just living in fog for extended periods of time. So this treatment would basically go ahead and send small implantables to the brain through the nasal passage, and then they would be activated by a device that fits easily into a hat. So this system would be recording your brain activity, stimulating the regrowth of neurons that have been lost or damaged by administering very small electrical pulses. So it's kind of like stimulating the growth of your happy neurons, happy hormones, and getting your body to produce them once again so that you can go ahead and feel the same happiness that you once felt prior to going through depression or anxiety.
Yes, now KIWI is not yet FDA approved, but the professor is very confident that soon enough we will be having this in the UAE. And I hope it's very easy to obtain such a thing. I mean, again, you don't have to only have anxiety or depression which I believe, to get sad sometimes. We all go through different moods and different state of minds. And if you had a hat that could cure all of that, that'd be great. I don't have to, be clinically, described as someone with a depression, anxiety, lots of sort of things. But again, sometimes, I believe everyone in the world wakes up one day and they don't want to do anything. They just want to sleep, and they're not ready for the day. But with what Professor Newton Howard does have for us, it might change the way we live as people with quality of life as well. And again, we can then, take a different route when it did come to the medical recreational drugs, as again, there's a lot of negative side effects, that comes with it. IBS, Crohn's disease. There's a lot of, things that can affect your digestive system because of the pills and how strong they affect your liver. The list does go on. 4215, let us know your guys' thoughts. Do you need a happy hat? I know I need one. Some days I don't want to, do anything, and that is why some people even, they go to nootropics. Nootropics, I've played with them before. Nootropics are great. And what if people don't know what nootropics is, it's not drugs. Nootropics is a supplement that helps you focus, concentrate more, and it's just natural things that stimulate brain activity and make you much more motivated and focused per se, even though some people think it's a placebo effect. But if I went into that, that's another 45 minutes of me talking. 4215, ladies and gentlemen, we are taking a short break, but when we come back, we're talking all about what happened on your birthday or when you were born up in space.
How do you tech? How do you tech?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever wondered how space looked when you were born, well, now NASA's new tool can show you how space looked on your birthday. This is How Do You Text segment. And we're going to be teaching you how you can look at space when you were born.
Now, this is going to be a great option for a birthday gift, especially if you want something personalized and for those who are big space enthusiasts. So, NASA's website is now allowing all visitors to go ahead and see what space looked like on the day they were born. And that's all thanks to the Hubble Space Telescope, the one that we've been waiting for and, praying that it goes ahead and helps us get the content that we want for quite some time, because it has been taking pictures since the year 1995. And NASA, as well as the Michigan Technological University, are now going ahead and uploading all that content to the Astronomy Picture of the Day website. So yes, there is a website out there known as Astronomy Picture of the Day. And if you go ahead and log onto it, you will see more than 1 billion images that have been accumulated on this website. So users can simply go ahead, search up their date of birth, and get to see the image that the telescope took of space on that day. And for those of you who don't know much about this telescope, it basically explores the universe 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That means it has definitely explored what space looked like even on the hour of the day that you were born. So everything is uploaded over there. So if you were to go ahead and let's say search 7th of Feb, 1998, 1994, you'll be able to see exactly what the image that the telescope was able to capture on that specific day.
Yes, and this has actually been a very big trend on TikTok, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of users on TikTok have been posting their picture and then their date of birth, or, let's say, for example, you were born on September 1st, 1989, for example, right? Mm-hmm. They would put that picture and then they would say how space looked like on the day I was born. And then they would have the picture of space, and most of the time it is beautiful pictures. So again, you can do this, and it's very quick and simple and easy. And that is the beauty of having the internet, ladies and gentlemen. Everything is on, the reach of your fingertips. And I have yet to see what space looked like on my birthday. I'm going to do so right now.
I was just going to ask you if you've checked it. For those who are born today, a couple years ago, first off, happy birthday. Second off, the space looked beautiful on the 7th of February. Of course, it differs from year to year. The pictures are not going to be similar. However, for those who would actually be a year old today, the space actually looked very beautiful. It is known, or the phenomena of space a year ago, same day today, is known as the umbrella galaxy. And what's nice about this website is it even explains to you what is it that you're looking at. So for example, on the 7th of Feb of 2020, space was an umbrella galaxy, and it would explain to you that whatever you're seeing are raining stars, and we have what is known as a giant cosmic umbrella. So you'll find a stream of stars that were stripped from a small satellite galaxy, and they created this beautiful array of stars that we get to witness on this specific day.
Yes, and ladies and gentlemen, we want to know what your birthday looked like, or what your space looked like on your birthday. You guys can message us at Pulse95 Radio on Instagram and let us know what it looked like. And if it looks very, very beautiful, because space is always beautiful, but if it looked extra beautiful, we'll give you guys a shout out tomorrow. But this does end Future Talk for today, ladies and gentlemen. 4215, let us know your guys' thoughts. But we do have the halftime show, the only place to be at 3, with the man himself, Omar Duri, commencing in T-minus 4 minutes. So keep Pulse 95 locked. We got a lot going on today. And we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, only here on Pulse
95.
If you liked this episode of Future Talk, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.